Hi, Kim here from Keep Fit with Kim. Today's workout is a gentle Pilates mat workout with no equipment. Let's get down on the mat and get started. So this next exercise is a gentler version of 100, but if you have any trouble with bladder leakage, prolapse or diastasis recti, anything like that, actually lifting the shoulders off the ground puts a lot of pressure on the lower abdominals, so you might want to leave this exercise out. This is an easier version of 100. We're going to keep the feet on the ground and slowly top the chin to the chest, roll the arms up. Hold up there. Lower back's imprinted into the mat. Then can move in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 10, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2. That's 20. 30, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 40, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 50, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 60, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 70, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 80, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 90, in, 2, 4, 5, and 2, 3, 100 and roll down. Make sure for this leg slide, arm float exercise that you've got enough room above you and behind and beneath you to reach out in full. Come back to neutral spine, feet and knees hip width apart, so feet together, toes out, heels out. Arms come up, drop the shoulders into the mat, and as you slide the right leg away, you're going to take the right hand down alongside it and take the left arm above the head. Try and keep the arm straight. Doesn't matter if you can't touch the mat. You're going to breathe out as you slide away, trying to keep the pelvis as stable as possible, trying to keep the spine in neutral. Don't worry if you can't straighten the leg. Don't worry if your hand will only come to here. You're just trying to get the best mobility in your shoulders that you can. So arms stay straight, palms facing will give you the best mobility within the shoulder. If you turn the arm in, there'll be a little bit of impingement just based on the way that the shoulder joint is formed. So we're really concentrating here on keeping that spine in neutral, trying to keep the pelvis relatively still, getting a little bit of stretch through the hips, stretch through the shoulders, breathing in as you come up, breathing out as you go the other way. Knee fold exercise is one of the gentlest exercises for the abdominals and really good for a gentle core engagement. Trying to keep the spine in neutral, and all we're going to do is bring the leg up into tabletop and back down again. Really being aware of what's going on with your back, so maybe fingertips underneath, maybe hands on the pelvis, breathing out as you take the leg down, because that's the hardest part. You're going to breathe in as you lift up, out on the harder part of the exercise, in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more each side. going to do is stretch through the backs of the legs. So it's a very gentle movement. I'm going to get you to bring the knees in one at a time. In this exercise I tend to roll my lower back into the mat, but neutral or imprinted is fine. Take the hands to the sides of the legs. What we're going to do is straighten and bend, alternating legs, feeling the stretch in the back of the hamstring, warming up through the back of the legs. If you wish to, you can extend that by flexing the foot. You're going to feel that maybe in the calf and a lot more intensely in the back of the knee if you're tight. But your choice here, so you can slow it down and add the foot flex, or you can stay with a lift and release. So we're not holding on to the back of the legs, the back of the hamstrings. You're either hanging onto the side slightly for support, or I quite like to just push my legs into my hands. Just to stop the knees coming too close. What I'm interested in here is getting that stretch through the back of the knee, which is why flexing the foot extends that, and so it can feel good if you're not really, really tight. Breathing out, breathing in, out through the mouth, in through the nose. Taking the feet down to the mat, one at a time. Or single leg stretch. You're going to start by hugging both knees into the chest. You're going to keep the spine in neutral if you can. If you find it's arching, imprint it into the mat. We want to avoid the arching. Ideally lifting the head off the ground, chin tucked, but if that's too much anytime, put it down. So we're going to breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Breathing out through the mouth, in through the nose. Looking for about 45-degree angle. If you take it too low, the movement comes out of the core or the abdominal area and more down into your hip flexors. Anytime you find it too much, let your head come down. So I'm letting my head come down today, following my injury. Everything's gone and I'm really struggling with the strength in my neck again. Back from an accident about 30 years ago. An awful lot of issues going on. So I am giving myself a little bit of a break here and keeping my neck down. But if you can, bring it back up. Remember, you're better off to do a handful of these exercises perfectly and rest and come back and do the workout another day or a different workout than to do loads badly. You're not going to get any benefit from them. Just do what you can, and then when you've had enough rest, I like to hug my knees in, do a little bit of circling one way, and the other one I finish that exercise. This exercise is a slow bridge, so I want you to take your feet at hip width apart. So if you're not sure, feet together, toes out, heels out, try and keep the knees in line. If you know your knees drop in, stick a block or a ball between your knees. And all I want you to do is think about starting by with a pelvic tilt. You're going to push the lower back into the mat using the lower abdominals and let the body come up. Think of one string of pearls at a time up from the ground. Watch your knees not dropping out either. Coming up and then rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Now, I find because of my posture, I find this one really hard. You need to keep your feet fairly close to the body for this, and you should be feeling it in your buttocks, not in your hamstrings. Squeeze the butt, tilt the pelvis, coming up one vertebrae at a time, up. Think of string of pearls, one vertebrae at a time, coming down. Imprint. Release back to neutral and relax. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, tilt the pelvis Push the lower back into the mat. Slowly squeeze the buttocks. Lift up like a string of pearls. Up towards the top and coming back down. Remember to keep breathing during this one. Breathing out on effort will engage the lower abdominals. Breathe out as you start to roll up, and then go with what feels natural. I tend to breathe out as I lift. Breathe in at the top, breathe out as I come down, and breathe in to relax. So it's a 4 breath movement. Roll back. I'd like you to plant your feet on the floor. Feet and knees hip width apart, so a nice sort of fixed width gap between the knees. And you're going to keep the feet on the mat. You may need to hold your knees, and all I want you to do is make a C curve with your low back. So you're going to open up the lower back as you roll gently back downwards. So the gentlest version is hanging onto your knees. If you're stronger, you can take the arms away and come back up. It does depend how strong your abdominals are. If your feet start to come away from the mat, you've gone too far. Another option is you can hold the side of your legs or put a fitness band or a dressing gown belt underneath your legs to hang on to. Feeling this in your abdominals. So, making it a bit harder, we can add an arm float. Whew. Alternating. Or you can add both. I'm not going to do that today. Having had a big gap from exercising over the last year, I'm having to stay with the gentler versions. And even the arm float is a little bit of a struggle for me. A couple more if you can. I'm going to take it back to the easier version and just get that opening up through my lower back, which feels really lovely. And rest. Taking the knee fold exercise up a level. Again, as we always do, we want neutral spine, ideally. Imprinted if you find it's wobbly, but really if you're not able to keep neutral spine, you need to go back to the easy version. Again, I've linked it here. What we're going to do, for those of you that can, instead of just coming up into knee fold, you're going to engage that core as you breathe out, rotate abdominals, take that second leg back down. First leg goes down, let's change side. So I'm going to lift left, engage and hold control, bring the right up. Right leg goes down, left leg goes down, same foot comes back up. Left, right, right, left. Left leg up. Breathing in, you're going to breathe out as you bring the second leg up. That's the hardest part of the movement. Same leg goes down. So whatever you're finding this exercise the hardest is where you need to be using the out breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And as always, if you find that you're not managing to control your core, it is time to rest for today. Come back and do this exercise another day. Well done. And down. And rest. And I quite like that one. So just give myself a little circle on the mat just to release my low back. Always tension in my low back. So for our windscreen wipers or windshield wipers, whatever you want to call them, we're going to start with the legs nice and wide. Now, 2 options for this one. really depending on whether you have tension in your hips or your low back. So if you want to loosen your hips, you're going to keep your hands on your pelvis and just take the knees a little way side to side. Now for me, I'm working for the tension in my hips. I don't want to be putting undue pressure on my low back. So anyone with osteoporosis, or like me with 2 prolapsed discs, I'm having to be a little bit extra careful about my rotation movements. So I'm staying with just the hips for most of it. I will show you one. I can probably get away with it without too much problem. If you're wanting to work your back, you're going to take the knees all the way over. I'm cheating slightly here and lifting up a little more than I would normally. Normally you would just let that rotate, taking the knees towards the floor and feel that rotation through your spine. I've actually lifted my shoulder off the ground just to take the pressure off my back. You should be keeping your shoulders down if you really want to be working on releasing tension in your lower back. You need to be aware of how this feels for you and work with what's right for your body. Yeah, I used to love this one before my injury. I loved the fact that it just loosened my lower back when I was feeling stiff. Now I still enjoy it a bit because it works through my hips, but I'm missing this exercise. Go with what you need, what works for your body and works with any injuries or limitations that you have. Once more each side. Well done. And release. Thank you for joining me in today's workout. I really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you want to be notified, ring the bell.